Da, 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 da. You know who we're talking about?
Mao P.
Hey everyone, welcome to WOW, Woes of Womanhood. Da, 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 da.
Can you guess what we're talking about in today's episode? We're talking about music festivals.
Music festivals. What type of genres do you guys like? We only listen to house.
Oh my god, that's giving very SF behavior.
Actually, Melody only listens to house. However, I listen to all genres, even country. Today's episode, we're going to dive into all of our tips and tricks, I love that word, of how to enjoy a music festival.
And survive. I want to first start off by acknowledging that there are many different types of music festivals.
Lovers and Friends, Coachella,
Outside Lands, Portola, Tomorrowland in Europe, Electric
Coachella.
Forest, EDM,
Stagecoach,
Snow Globe, TBT to that.
Shoreline.
It's not a music festival
I guess it's just a concert.
venue. It's a concert venue.
Okay, define a music festival, Melody. Seems like you're the expert here.
Well, a music festival is a multi-day music event. What do you think a music festival is?
Where there's music and people are being festive.
Could that just be a concert?
I don't think there is a proper definition. Maybe a concert would be just one band, but maybe a music festival includes two bands or three.
I think a music festival, does it have to be a multi-day event?
I don't know if it's a multi-day.
I think that's what considers it a festival.
Anyway, we will source check that
Yeah.
and make a big circle on who was correct.
The reason why I bring up there's many different types of festivals because they're kind of giving different vibes. Like a lot of times country music, a lot of people are like sitting on a lawn. Also the different music festivals have different weather. Like San Francisco, Outside Lands typically is like a little bit colder and windy, but like Coachella is literally the desert. So Snow Globe in the snow in Tahoe. I don't even know if they do that anymore. There's many different vibes, many different temperatures, and that is very important to consider when you are planning for your festival.
So let's start with pre-planning.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 or 3 days before, what do you start planning? What do you start thinking about? What's your go-to methodology for prepping for your music festival?
So I think when I was younger, I cared a little bit more. Now that I'm older, I care in a different way. I used to plan my outfits, especially for Coachella, at least a month in advance. But now I care less. Obviously, I still care about my outfits, but I'm not like planning a month in advance.
We care about the music now.
I cared about the music, but also I love leaning into the bit. You know, each festival has its own vibe, its own persona. And it's so fun and a part of the festival culture to lean into that bit, you know? Depending on the vibe of the festival, obviously, adhere your outfit to those vibes. Or wear whatever you want, like whatever is fun and you feel confident in. That being said, nowadays a lot of people wear little sprouts or people get sprouted and I think that's super fun.
Or a hot sticker.
Or a hot sticker, which is my next plan of attack. I'm going to bring a roll of hot stickers. Those are kind of fun things that you can purchase beforehand. 2 other things. 1, plan your course of action based on the lineup. So like look at the different days, look what artists you want to see on those days and kind of create a plan for seeing those artists.
Honestly, I think we used to do that a little bit more strategically, but now we just browse through the artists on the day of or a day before, and then we just feel out the vibes, because sometimes even if you create a plan, you don't really follow it because a set's really good and you want to stay until the end, or you just got over one set, so you're just walking around figuring out new artists.
I think that's unique too. Once you go to enough concerts and music festivals, you've probably seen a lot of the artists already. So you get to a point where I think now at least, whenever we go, obviously we have our list of we really want to see this artist, but then we're also much more willing to explore new artists. And I think that's one of the most fun parts.
I also would say if you are preparing for a music festival and you do have that energy after the festival, you can look at different after parties. Right. So for Portola, there are a bunch of after parties because the DJs stay for that night. They partner up with another DJ. So we really tried to go to Mao P and Piggy Goo, but it did not work out. We were on the pre-sale tickets too, but it was all completely sold out. If you do have that bandwidth and money and time, look at the after parties. You always want to keep your night going long.
Another thing that I think is essential is planning the necessary utilities for the event. Essentially what's going in your bag, and also be ready to have a clear bag if the event has a clear bag policy, which most places do. So things to go in your backpack/bag. Mal, what would you take with you? Also, this depends per festival.
Toilet wipes, because the porta potties run out of toilet paper really quickly. Hand sanitizing wipes or spray, because sometimes the soap or water runs out, again, at the porta potties, so you want to make sure you have clean hands. I would do eargasm earplugs. So eargasms are specifically designed to cut out high frequency noises, which makes it better in terms of audio quality. Also, I love to pack my lip glosses and gum. What about you, Melody?
I'll bring sunglasses. Either I'll wear them or I'll keep them in my bag. Also, if the event is notoriously cold, sometimes I'll bring emergency blankets. So you can get them 6-pack off of Amazon. They kind of look like foil, but if you unwrap them, they're like big things that kind of keep you warm and cut out the wind. So I would recommend emergency blankets if it gets really cold, or if you want something to sit on the ground. That's always nice. I've also seen some people at festivals bring, it kind of looks like a disc, and you rotate it and it turns into like a chair, like a little stool. You can wear it as a backpack. I've never brought that personally, but I've seen people use it and I'm like, wow, that's really smart. If it's a really hot festival, I would consider bringing a fan. So there's electric fans or like handheld fans.
She brought a lighter for the first time in
yes.
the last festival, and it came in clutch because there was like 2 or 3 people asking for lighters.
I brought a lighter because I knew someone was gonna be in the crowd and ask for a lighter, and 2 or 3 people asked to use a lighter, and I felt so happy that I could be helpful to them and offer them a lighter. This is a personal issue, but whenever I'm eating, ever since I got Invisalign, my teeth used to be so close together. Now they have a lot of space. So sometimes if I'm eating something and it gets my teeth, I bring like floss. Also, I bring like Advil in case, I get some cramps or something. Feminine products if needed.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I try to go very light-handed. Light-handed, is that the right word?
Sure.
That way I don't have to worry about stuff. I hope no one steals, but you never know.
Cool. So that's essentials for the bag. What are other ways that you prepare before? We talked about the outfit. We talked about the bag. Transportation. I think that's also very important. So each festival has different ways that you can get into the festival. So it can be Uber, it can be shuttles, it can be Waymo, it can be walking, biking. If you're going to drive, figuring out the parking situation. So that is super important to pre-plan just to set you up for success going to the festival, so you're not like stressed out trying to figure out where to park. Maybe you need a pass. A lot of times, like for Coachella, you need a shuttle pass. So just making sure you have the logistics ironed out is very important.
If you are Ubering, you gotta make sure you're calling it probably 40 minutes before you want to actually be there, because Ubers are super hard to get when it's near the festival. And I've experienced this a lot in San Francisco.
A lot of times if you are taking Uber, I honestly suggest leaving a little bit early so you're not in the whole rush of people who are trying to get out.
Our preference, driving, which is actually crazy to me, but I think in the long run it is worth it. It seems that you would be super tired after a festival, but it's better than walking around trying to get an Uber, trying to figure the transportation out at the end of the festival. So consider driving a actual legitimate way to get there.
Especially if you're not drinking and such. Driving ends up saving you money, even if you have to pay for parking, because often like Uber surges, or saving you time, like having to walk a long distance. It can just save you a lot of that headache if you drive. We only are able to do that because we figured out the exact logistics for those festivals. So if you don't know like the parking situation, how much it is, whatever, maybe don't drive.
Okay, so now the day of, and you've already have your list of things you're gonna bring, you have your outfit ready, you have your transportation ready. Now what?
At least first day, there's a lot of excitement. So typically we go a little bit earlier on the first day. Just to like check out the festival, kind of wander around, get a lay of the land, and understand like, oh, maybe we're not gonna hit this spot today, but like I really wanna try this food spot tomorrow, or like I wanna go to this stage for this artist, whatever. Well, I think first day we typically go a little bit earlier.
You don't go that hard with the drinking either. Just keep it very chill see the dynamics, the end.
And then second day, since you've already gotten a lay of the land, you've had some experiences at the festival grounds and explored a little bit. Typically, we try to have a slow morning because maybe, you were there late the day before. And if it's a 3-day festival, which often I feel like most festivals are like 2-3 days. If it's a 3-day festival, you kind of want to pace yourself. Like, you don't want to go too hard all the time and like be exhausting yourself. Mm-hmm. So if it is a 3-day festival, take it easy morning of day 2. Make sure you get a good, nutritious breakfast, recover, and feel ready for the next day. Especially if you're walking around a lot, often your legs can get so sore. Mm-hmm. And it being only day 2, and you have a whole nother day left, it's just like, give your legs a little bit of a rest.
When we get there, it's already maybe 3 to 4 hours into the festival. When we get there, we immediately look at the food because usually the food lines are a little less crazy around 4:30, 5, and then it gets really bad throughout the night as it gets later. So we go immediately to the food.
Yeah, I think that is an important call out is plan when you're going to get food. Otherwise, you might get caught in a busy rush. Also, I forgot to mention merch. I would recommend getting merch on day 1 because sometimes things can sell out. Like if I'm not like 100% I need merch from this place, maybe I'll go day 3 after I did everything in the festival and I'm like, okay, let's just like check out what merch there is. Maybe I'll grab something as a memory. But if I really want merch, then I'll go day 1. Otherwise, they will sell out. So that's like my angle on merch. But what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I don't really buy that much merch unless it's Portola because I feel like their marketing is awesome. If they have the app to know what kind of merch is coming up, that could be a pre-planning thing too.
Right. Yeah. Like plan out what you want to buy.
Yeah.
That's smart.
And day 2 is the day that you're going to go most hard on or, enjoy the festival to its fullest extent. So I would kind of let loose more, just enjoy that time, come back a little bit later. That's fine. But day 3 is...
Well, because usually that's Saturday.
But then day 3, your Sunday scaries are going to set in. So you want to keep it calm. Day 3 usually starts with a slower morning, nutritious breakfast, just water, constant hydration. You got to make sure, you got your electrolytes in. You're getting your vitamins in. You want to forget that the next day is Monday, but prepare. So we usually go completely sober on day 3 or whatever Sunday and make sure that our body is in recovery mode.
Day 3 is very much Sunday scaries, and I think this is often when we come back early. It's more about any final acts that we want to see and then anything that we missed out on in the beginning, we want to make sure that we hit before the festival ends. There's been multiple times outside Lands Coachella, even day 2 of Portola, that I've ended up selling my ticket because I was like, okay, honestly, 1 day or 2 days was totally great for me, especially once you've been to enough festivals, you're like, I really don't need this. And then you can make some money back, which is also really nice. A tip for wristbands, when you put on a wristband, instead of pulling the tab down, I get a clear, the small elastics that you use like when you braid your hair at the bottom, I get a clear elastic and I tie it around the base of my wrist, and then I just fold over the extra piece of band with the tab on it, just fold it under the wristband so they can't really tell that you haven't pulled it. That also helps. I mean, you can scan it, it's like pretty secure on your hand, and then at the end of the day you just obviously pull the elastic off and you can take off the wristband or sell the wristband if you want to. So you don't have to deal with like trying to finagle your way out of getting this tab off and getting the wristband off. Recommendation for shoes.
I love booties because they just elongate my legs and they just complete the outfit. But I'm realizing that if I'm standing for like 5 to 6 hours, that's really unrealistic. So maybe one day I'll, feed into my guilty pleasures of a boot, but all other days, sneakers.
I would say my go-to sneaker, again, I am also short, so I love a little bit of a wedge. I love the platform Converse. Those are super comfortable and kind of edgy, kind of match the festival vibe. I wear those a lot. Actually, at Outside Lands last year, I wore a boot, but it was like a kitten heel boot. Like the heel was like super, super small. So I got like a little bit of height in the booty effect and it ended up being really comfortable. So that was good. And then anytime you can do a platform boot, if you want to do a boot, do a platform so it's not like the balls of your feet are getting as you're like walking and it's just so much pressure on the balls of your feet.
I love Sambas. So Adidas Sambas are a go-to. They're just normal sneakers. They have actually no platform or anything. It's very thin, but it just looks cool and it matches with the vibes of any type of outfit. That being said, on the other hand, I do wish I had more platform shoes because in porta potties, when you're, doing your business, you don't want anything to be touching the floor. And if you have a little bit of a heel or platform, then there's less risk of your pants touching the floor of the freaking porta potties that are completely soaked.
And I would say accessories wise, if you're thinking about Coachella or any festival in like a desert area, I love a bandana or at least something to cover your nose and mouth. Even at outside lands, it's like pretty dusty. Anywhere that has a lot of sand or dirt, definitely have something covering your mouth and nose, and glasses for like dust hitting your eyes, because it can be a lot. At the end of the day, you're like blowing out dust.
Yeah, and your hair gets matted all over too, especially at outside lands with the fog and the dust. So bring a hairband if you want, maybe a hoodie or a cap.
Also, a lot of festivals allow you to bring in an empty water bottle, something that's super convenient if you're not bringing a backpack that you can put a water bottle in. You can do the hydro packs, which I've seen some people use. I think you can bring them in if they're empty. Or there's collapsible water bottles, so they're not super chunky. The ones that are basically like plastic and they can like roll up, so they're super small, so it's not super clunky.
Water is so expensive at festivals, so if you do decide to buy a water, keep that water can and refill it, because why would you spend $6 or $7 every time you're thirsty? Especially
newer festivals, they don't have great water infrastructure. Like sometimes they don't have enough water, and I remember one year specifically at Coachella, they did not have enough water. It's like 100 degrees and people were like, this is like a liability.
Also at festivals, your cell phone connection is going to be the worst thing ever. So if you do end up going separate ways with your friends to listen to different sets, make sure you guys have a pillar or a landmark that you can come back to meet up.
If you're actually going to different stages, there's always a lot of success in being like, we're right in front of pole 2. Like you can actually just say and like stay in that area, so that's helpful. Speaking of phones and not having service, make sure you bring a portable charger. I forgot to mention this because sometimes I just make sure my phone's at full charge before I leave, but it is important to have a portable charger, especially if you're planning on splitting up with your group, so your phone's not dead and you have no way to get home and no way to talk to your friends. One more thing that came to mind that I like to keep for emergencies is Band-Aids, especially if you're wearing shoes that you haven't worn before, which I would not recommend. But if you do, bring Band-Aids, because sometimes people get blisters like on the back of their foot or the side of their foot. So it's always nice to have just like an emergency Band-Aid situation.
I totally forgot that your bender does not end on day 3, the end of the festival. It goes on a week or 2 past that festival. And what I mean is that you got to take care of yourself after the festival. What I like to do is get massages and just get my like muscle knots rubbed out, or do some stretches and yoga, slow movements throughout the week, so I feel more relaxed and calm. I make sure to eat pretty healthy. My vitamins, again, vitamins, very important. Maybe take a day off of work if you have that ability to. Very important that you're resetting your body and mind for real life again.
Personally, if I'm doing a 3-day festival, which is becoming harder and harder to do transparently as I get older, if it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday festival, I would take Monday off, or I wouldn't go Sunday. Take that time to recover, because if you don't, it will impact you for many days. And if you have rigorous jobs, your mental needs to be a hundo P.
Yes.
So
yeah, sleep is so important too.
Yeah.
I would sleep for like 15 hours straight after a 3-day festival.
Otherwise,
lots of pics and videos.
I take a lot of pictures. I take a lot of videos. People always appreciate it after.
Yes.
And create a shared album. Make sure everyone gets those memories. It's really fun. I feel like I didn't do this as much when I was younger, but actually now that I'm older, we look back on those videos a lot more.
Yeah, I don't even touch my phone during festivals because I just want to be in the moment. But after we come back from day 1 or day 2 or day 3, we love to like look back on how did this hour go? What did we do this hour?
Yeah.
And it's really fun because you get
we like debrief it together. Yeah,
you
it's
get
so
to
fun.
relive the moment and also maybe see the set again. So make sure to videotape when you can. Obviously enjoy the moment, but it'll be clutch if you have a friend like Melody who is always videotaping.
It is a fine balance. Like you don't want to have your phone out all the time and have it be disruptive to your experience. But I feel like there is a way that you can capture specific moments that, you want to look back on that memory and like make it fun. Oh, I keep forgetting for the accessories. I literally have it on, a pashmina. I think a pashmina is so cute and I love it when you throw it on. I think especially for a guy, like my boyfriend has a very simple style, but to make it somewhat fun, he loves wearing like a pashmina. Also, it's just like fun to kind of like do this around. And I just think like fun accessories and stuff are always a good way to spice it up. Even if you're wearing something more simple, you could always throw on a fun, easy accessory.
Also, I totally forgot about when you're at the festival, there's a lot of brand activations happening. So on day one, when you're getting, the lay of the land, go to different activations and see what they're handing out. You might get a free goodie, you might get a free drink, you never know. And those are the most fun parts of the festival other than the actual music. So definitely go around, explore, venture out into those activations.
Well, let us know in the comments what is your favorite music festival you've ever been to, or if you've never been to one, let us know which one you want to go to. Personally, I want to go to Tomorrowland in Europe. That's like the coolest thing ever. I think the stages are like insanity. It is on my bucket list to go, so hoping to do that one day.
I would love to go to Tomorrowland and Germany's Berghain.
Oh, the club. Okay, so we'll see you next time. Not next Thursday,
but the Thursday after that.
that.
Bye, ladies and men.